The most hyped Raw in months and what is targeted to be a groundbreaking night for the future of the business, with the Invasion angle officially kicking off along with the added historical significance of WCW invading the place most synonymous with WWF history in Madison Square Garden, saw Vince McMahon setting the stage for the night, saying that no WCW performer is allowed in this building tonight in McMahon territory, putting over the company's history in the Garden as the house that the WWF helped build, with his father inducted into the Madison Square Garden Hall of Fame, showing a tribute video package to his father with the New York crowd popping huge for Blassie Monsoon and Andre during the video, kicking off the show with a Test vs. Rhino hardcore title match that saw them ending up in the parking lot, with Mike Awesome taking the first shot, pinning Rhino to win the title and walk out with the belt. With the past 3 days again also putting what seems like the recent struggles in perspective, selling out the Garden on back-to-back nights for Raw and SmackDown TV tapings, along with the Continental Airlines Arena for King of the Ring on Sunday, combining for close to 50,000 tickets sold in the New York market alone between Sunday to Tuesday, again emphasizing that while business is down from the all-time peak of the past 2 years, it's still as strong as at almost any other point in history. With the WWF looking to bounce back from the all-time low SmackDown rating on June 14 with the kickoff of the Invasion angle, last Thursday the company's alarming year-on-year decline from its peak was highlighted by the media, with Access Hollywood running a story covering the decline in viewership at the exact same time Rock's mainstream status goes in the opposite direction, with the company unable to fill the void left by Rock, with both Raw and SmackDown dropping significantly since his absence on April 2nd. As with Rock's stock rising to be the most publicized and widely known wrestler worldwide since the peak of Hulk Hogan's popularity, and beyond that in anything ever seen before in the industry in terms of high-profile media projects, with him largely credited for the Mummy Returns movie opening at record levels despite only having a cameo role. Noting SmackDown's record low rating in addition to Raw's gradual drop in viewership since the move from the USA Network to TNN in September 2000 and the more drastic slide over the past 2 months, with Rock commenting on his upcoming WWF return, with him currently scheduled to be back in time to headline the SummerSlam pay-per-view in mid-August, saying that he will remain committed to both wrestling and acting for as long as he can, with him having almost 4 years left on his current contract. As with the story covering the lowest rated SmackDown ever doing a 3.2 rating with less than 5 million viewers, later in the night last Thursday SmackDown rebounded exactly 1 million viewers to a 3.6 rating for the final show before the King of the Ring pay-per-view built around the hype for the Page vs. Taker confrontation and the three-way title match, with Thursday night also seeing the debut of the WWF's first ever reality series format, with Tough Enough premiering on MTV in a 3-hour block right after SmackDown ended at 10 p.m. to also give the company some positive publicity, getting strong reviews across the board in addition to strong numbers, with the show debuting with a 2.1 rating to be the highest rated show on cable television for the night and to almost double the regular MTV average rating. With Rock not expected to be back for the next month and Triple H and Chris Benoit off TV with long-term injuries, Steve Austin and Kurt Angle were set to be heavily featured as the main act on the WWF side of the company's rivalry, in a unique dynamic with Vince McMahon in the middle, seeing a series of comedic skits on the night with Vince convincing Austin to recruit Angle, with them needing him on their side against Shane and the WCW Invasion, with Raw next seeing Edge's King of the Ring winning promo on the way to a major singles push in the near future, with the build-up to the split continuing with Christian taking over the ceremony before 1999 winner Billy Gunn interrupted, complaining about him not being in the tournament after being out with injury and unable to defend his title in 2000, ending up with Edge shooting back saying that Gunn has done nothing in the past 2 years to set up a match between them for later tonight, with Raw having a strong viewership pattern on the night, picking up viewers in every quarter except a slight drop in the 6-minute Edge vs Gunn match, with the main talking point coming out of it being the New York crowd starting huge Hogan chants throughout, and with Hogan himself still not expected to return in the near future. A rumor that started to escalate over the weekend saw Bill Goldberg staying in the same New Jersey hotel as the WWF wrestlers before the King of the Ring event in the area, immediately starting talk on perhaps secret negotiations going on with Goldberg set to debut on the pay-per-view or on Raw the next night, with the situation ending up just a coincidence with Goldberg in town for a different event with no plans to return to action in the near future, with his Time Warner contract still the highest guaranteed deal in the industry, as Raw crossed over the top of the second hour with a Taker and Kane vs Dudleys tag titles match going 5 minutes, ending up with Albert laying out Kane for the Dudleys to go over before a post-match angle of Page taking out Taker, jumping over 600,000 viewers to enter the 5 rating reign. After the last hour of building it up as a momentous night, things started to heat up between 10:15 to 10:30, with Shane McMahon arriving at WWF New York a day after putting on an all-time memorable street fight against Kurt Angle, responding to Vince's promo earlier saying that Vince used his TV connections to block WCW from airing on any television network as a way to explain the delay in the originally planned separate Saturday night WCW show on TNN. With Shane saying that since Vince prevented them from airing on television separately, they're gonna invade the WWF and he's gonna do to him what Vince did to his father and run him out of business, introducing Booker for his first ever Raw appearance as the man to lead the new WCW, with Booker cutting a promo on Austin saying that he's coming to take him out, building up a WWF vs WCW champions confrontation, with him calling Austin to meet him at WWF New York later tonight, setting up the main event segment with Austin and Angle driving from the Garden to take the challenge, with this segment seeing Raw continuing to climb to peak at a 5.2 rating in the highest rated quarter of the night, as with Booker set for a prominent role as a headliner in the Invasion angle, his WWF debut last night, which saw him laying out Austin by slamming him through the announcer's table, put major heat on Booker backstage already on his first night in the company, with him accidentally injuring Austin during the spot, followed by a misunderstanding of him leaving the building right after and not checking on Austin after the show, with Austin going to the hospital for x-rays later in the night, with Austin not the only major name almost seriously injured, as Kurt Angle suffered a back injury from an out-of-the-ring suplex, with both Austin and Angle as the two top guys in the company currently on television not expected to be able to wrestle regularly for the next several weeks, but with the company already dealing with major injuries to key players. The biggest blow coming out of the show was Chris Benoit's tests coming in as the worst-case scenario, with Benoit diagnosed with a blocked nerve in his neck that would see him undergoing surgery during the week that will keep him out of the ring between 6 months to a year, coming in bad timing for him and the company, with Benoit getting as high-profile push as at any point in his career to establish himself as a legit headliner, with the recent streak of physically demanding matches that saw the company in an attempt to counter the viewership slide, and Benoit in particular, paying the price for going all out in every TV match to put on some of the most spectacular matches ever seen on wrestling television in the span of a month. One of the most unique segments in Raw history was set to close the show, with the company banking on viewers' intrigue being higher than usual, placing their final commercial break at an unusual time, 4 minutes from the top of the hour, with Vince walking to the ring seconds after 11 p.m., as the segment, besides being the promoted first ever confrontation between the WWF and WCW champions, also taking place between two separate locations, with the Times Square Club just minutes away from the Garden, as Vince said that the hallowed ground of MSG has been soiled tonight, but they're gonna finish the night strong to fix it. Introducing Austin and Angle arriving at WWF New York, with Austin cutting the response promo calling out Booker, bringing him out along with Shane at the Garden, with Booker laying out Vince before bailing out of the building, taking the intensity of the feud to the next level heading into the Invasion pay-per-view in less than a month. As the 6-minute overrun with the Vince, Shane, Booker, Austin and Angle segment soared, all picking up to a 5.6 rating, the highest rated segment on Raw in almost 2 months. With the company, after kicking off the inter-promotional rivalry over the past week, finally getting positive signs on a legit turnaround, with Raw jumping big from its recent 4.2 rating average to a 3-month high 4.7 rating.